Shabbat shalom. While it is cloudy and rainy and dark outside, it is sunny and bright and beautiful and comfortable and dry and all those good things inside. My name is Rabbi P.J. Schwartz, and welcome to Temple B'nai Shalom for those of you who are coming from near and far for this wonderful weekend as we celebrate Jocelyn as she becomes a bat mitzvah formally tomorrow morning. Couple pieces of housekeeping before we begin our service. So, there is only one piece of technology that you need throughout the entire service, both this evening and tomorrow. This baby. So your prayer books are available for you, and we will be calling the page numbers throughout the service for you to be able to follow along and actively participate and join us in worship. And we come together for many different reasons, but one of those reasons is Shabbat. And when we are able to infuse the joy into Shabbat on a daily basis, we're able to find some comfort and strength and warmth within. But when we are able to infuse joy in Shabbat on special weekends like these, we do it twofold. And when we kindle the lights of Shabbat and make this day holy, we do so transforming our moments of busyness in our lives to one of holiness, one of sanctity, one of peace and love and compassion. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Jocelyn's mom, Karen Ann, and her sister, Amelia, to light our Shabbat candles.
It's not lighting.
Okay. Not lighting. It'll light.
There we go.
Ready? Come next.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
At the beginning of our services on Friday evening, we go through a variety of psalms and songs called Kabbalat Shabbat. And the mystics believe that in order for us to fully focus and transform ourselves into this moment of sanctity, of this moment of holiness, we need to do so not only with joy, but feeling connection and soul, and giving ourselves the right mindset for us to be able to connect with God. Now, one of the things that we sing on Shabbat are the words of Lecha Dodi on page 138 and 139. And Lecha Dodi reminds us that every single week, all the aspects of God come together and they meet as one. And we literally greet the divine feminine, the Shabbat bride, at the end of this prayer. So on page 138, 139, we will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Immediately following verse 9, after we have welcomed Shabbat and welcomed the Shabbat bride, we will take a moment to welcome each other and greet each other and wish each other Shabbat Shalom before we come back together for our final verses of Lecha Dodi. So we turn once more to 138, 139. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabala la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabala. Shemor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmihanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'liti la 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 la, Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, mirosh mekedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi uri, shidaberi, kivod Adonai alayik nigi la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Boi v'shalom ateret bahala, gam b'simcha u'v'sola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Tradition teaches us that we are greeted by the Shabbat angels every Shabbat. And those angels stand with us and they welcome us. And they go with us home each Shabbat to give us wholeness and to give us peace. Those words of Shalom Aleichem can be found on page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seithem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu.
This for the Baruch on page 146.
La 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Hamevorach, Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai.
Please be seated. We recognize the wonder of creation with this tune of Ma'ariv Aravim in your service pamphlets.
So if you look in your service pamphlets, you'll see those words of Ma'ariv Aravim, roll into dark. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Orei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei hoshech, golel or mipnei hoshech, V'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark,
roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. We acknowledge God's love for us through Ahavat Olam, page 150.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Ukimu mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta, Otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu, uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha. V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha leolam v'hen. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ba'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
Please rise for the Shema.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad,
Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Vahem.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzadecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'chayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha
Leman tizkeru v'asitem et mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim
le'Elohechem.
Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim להיות lahem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem We read together at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the many ways to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We continue with our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 155.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot usefele, Nora tehilot usefele, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha uvanecha, bokei hayam livnei Moshe uMiriam, ze'elianu ve'amru, ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Please continue on page 160 with Hashkiveni.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoeinu, l'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim.
Please rise for the Amidah beginning on page 164. Adonai sefatata uviyagi tehilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Eloheinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zoher hastei avot Umivi gula livnei bneihem, l'mod shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol, atah Hoshia, Morid hatol. Mechalchel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Tomech noflim vervei olim, Umatir asarim, Umechayem emunato, Nishenei yafa, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidamela, Melech Mimit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'em Talayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue silently until page 178.
So Jocelyn, you know what just happened? You took the magic power from me tonight. You know what just happened? Did you notice anything? So little old rabbi just sat over here. Everybody was still doing. The moment that you sat down, they looked at you and they said, she has the magic power. I'm going to sit when she sits. Now, as you know, with great power comes great responsibility. So use it wisely. We continue together with Shalom Rav on page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Tov Beinecha Livarech Et Amacha Yisrael Bechol Ed Uvechol Sha'ah Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Each time that we gather together as a sacred community, we take a moment and we turn our thoughts to those loved ones in our lives who are in need of healing of body, of mind, of spirit. And as we sing Mishaberach, may our voices be heard by them to give them a sense of comfort, strength, and peace. As a congregation, this evening, we think of Victoria Donovan, Natalie Wallach, Bernard Rubin, Barbara Lapidus, Margaret Ann Goldsmith, Al Jupiter, Judy Kunitz, J. Lee Weber, Mary Beth Lapidus, Beth Moishier, Ken Rhodes, Joy Suskind, Lynn Weil, Sue Chatham, Sarah Ballin, Michelle Shochet, Charles Simon, Amanda Solomon, Robert Berman, Fred Levin, Doug Castellano, Suzanne Horsley, Charlie Appleby, Wayne Copeland, Susan Zlotnick-Hale, Eileen Linton, Joan May, Jane Altshuler, Dee Berkowitz, Sharon Schuff, Rebecca Stewart, Renata Limmer, and Becky Craig. If there is a name that you would like to lift up this evening for our prayer for healing, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hakol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings forth healing to all those loved ones who need it most. Mishaberach can be found on page 371. Mishaberach avotenu B'kor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu B'kor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirits, and let us say, Amen. With Israel always in our thoughts, we continue with the prayer for the state of Israel on page 377. Avinu shebashamayim, Sur Yisrael v'goelo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Geulatenu, Hagen Alecha Be'evrat Chastecha, Ufros Alea Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'amitcha Levashecha Sarecha V'yotzecha, V'taknem Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshvecha, V'nomar, Amen. We read in the English together. O Heavenly One, I've personally always found it interesting that much of Moses' final words to the Israelites are about the people's collective history and the laws that serve as the foundation of our relationship with God and what it means to be in community. Now, in this week's Torah portion, Kitetse, we discover various civil and criminal laws ranging from issues of marriage, of divorce, parenting, property, treatment of animals, fair wages. And it's challenging to ascertain how these laws are connected with one another. And at times, they really do feel random and circumstantial. But beneath the laws are a call for us to care for each other and to expand our universe of obligation. One of the laws within our Torah portion, the Mitzvot, is known as Hashavat Avedah, our responsibility to return lost objects to its rightful owners. Our text reads, "If you see your fellow Israelites' ox or sheep gone astray, do not ignore it. You must take it back to your peer. And if your fellow Israelite does not live near you or you do not know who the owner is, you shall bring it home and it shall remain with you until your peer claims it, and then you shall give it back. You shall do the same with that person's donkey or that person's garment, and so too you shall do with anything that your fellow Israelite loses and you find, because you must not remain indifferent." Now, the medieval philosopher theologian Bachya ibn Pakuda notes that restoring property is a fulfillment of the Torah's instruction to love your neighbor as yourself. And he notes that property, then, is an extension of each individual. It's like the limb of one's body. Loving one's neighbor means taking care of all that is important to them as you would want them to safeguard all that is important to you. Returning lost property is a demonstration of love and concern for one's neighbors. Now, while our text specifically refers to property as something physical, I also think that it speaks to something that we own internally. Property could be considered as our self-esteem. It could be construed as our concept of self-worth, our image of ourselves. It can refer to the stories that we tell ourselves, the roles that we choose to play. Alternatively, what if we are the objects whom are lost? We may feel lost in life, unsure about the future. We may feel out of control. And just as much as we are obligated to return lost property to its owner or care for it until it's found, we are obligated to aid each other in their own journey to be found once more. After all, we know what Hillel says, "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, when am I? And if not now, when?" Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav puts it this way: "We should know that there is an angel in the world, and under this angel there are other appointed angels, and each holds a shofar and a shovel in their hands. The angels are always standing and digging and searching for lost objects and then blowing their shofar. And when the angels find something, they blow the shofar to make a joyful, happy noise, since then they can return what was lost. There are so many lost objects in the world, and sometimes we lose things to their own desires. Rabbi Nachman continues and says that forgetting, then, is an example of losing. That's a pretty incredible image, that there are angels in this world whose job it is to help us find what we have lost. Friends, we are each other's angels. We are all within our universe of obligation. Sometimes we lose some of our core values. Sometimes we lose the balance of priorities in our days and in our lives. Sometimes we stray from living in the world as our most authentic selves, because we are responsible for seeing what is before us and truly seeing each other, being attuned to one another, to notice when someone does not appear as they used to see fingertips reaching out into the world. And when we choose to accept our obligations to each other and to God, we grow in holiness. The search also belongs to us, for our own selves. We must return lost property to its owner. In other words, even when we are lost, we have the capacity to return to our best selves. We have the ability to notice light among darkness and pain. And it is the people that care about us most who can help find our inner strength and emerge once again whole. And even from our depths, we are called to notice the light that breaks through broken places. So on this Shabbat, may we take responsibility for helping one another find what is lost. May we preserve the connection to that what is lost. And may the divine presence reside within us as we search, as we find, and we return to our lost items and our lost selves. Shabbat Shalom. We transition to words of Aleinu at the bottom of page 586. I'd like to invite up Sandy and Helene to open our ark as our congregation rises. Please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Ushemo Echad. Please be seated. We take a moment to remember all those loved ones who are no longer with us, but will forever remain in our hearts and in all that we do. We remember As a congregation, those loved ones who have recently passed, Mary Dotery, as well as the anniversaries of those who died at this time in years past. Bernice Ginsburg, Marcia Marks, Ralph David Limmer, Eva Van Leeuwen Cohen, Guillermo Garcia Salazar, Morris Alstro, Gertrude Loskov, Leonard Flank, Iris Denneberg Rosemore Norris, and Sheila Ida Turbiner. If there is a name that you would like to add this Shabbat as we remember those loved ones, I invite you to share that name aloud as my eyes meet yours. Zichronam Levacha. May the memories of each and every person that we have named aloud and within our hearts be for an enduring blessing. Supporting those who mourn and in the memory of the martyrs of our people, we rise together as Kaddish is recited, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'izman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudashah b'richu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the Holy Blessed One who creates peace and peace to all of us who mourn, and may the source of comforts and comfort to all of us who are bereaved. And we say together, amen. Please be seated. A couple congregational announcements before we transition to conclusions of our service. What are you guys doing at 10:30 tomorrow morning? Oh, I'm going to breakfast. Tomorrow morning, 10:30, Jocelyn Wallach becomes a bat mitzvah formally. I'm the one that jokes. Next Friday, we welcome our scholar in residence, Rabbi Rami Shapiro, to join us on the Bima and provide a sermon as well as programming all day next Saturday, September 21st. Then on Saturday, September 28th, we are beginning the High Holy Day experience even further with Slichot in the evening with a learning session there afterwards. And for those of you who are wanting to know our High Holy Day schedule, you can see it in the front of our lobby or online and via email. And we look forward to continuing to welcome you as we welcome this sweet year. Before we transition to Kiddush and Motzi, I'd like to invite up Francine Perlman to present a gift to Jocelyn on behalf of our sisterhood.
And this is from all of us in Sisterhood and all of us from B'nai Shalom. Congratulations. See you tomorrow. But I wanted to tell you, I think you're fierce. I think you're feisty. And you are our future as a female. Congratulations.
I don't think I would get away with calling you feisty. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Greg as he leads us in Kiddush. Got it? Okay.
By the way, all the challahs were made by Francine, so thank you. They're delicious. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho v'ahavat ratzon hinchiltanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehila lamikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shat kadshecha, yava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Chaim.
Never gets better. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so if you at heart and want to join us in the very front of the bima for the motzi, I invite you to do so at this time. Okay. So what's really good is that they're the knots, but we got to do this because we're the braids, okay? With our powers are combined.
Don't put your hands weight
on okay. Don't put too much weight on Jocelyn's hand. All right. All right, you ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. One at a time, one at a time. Jocelyn, grab one. But
I'm stacking some for everybody else.
No. One at a time. There we go. Perfect. You're passing out. Okay. Wait. Okay. So clearly this was better than the wine. So, we of course invite you to our Shabbat Oneg immediately following our closing song, where there are plenty of sweets that have been placed out from our congregants who are here to also celebrate Jocelyn. So we are appreciative of all of that. And we are going to conclude with words of Adon Olam on page 625. I invite the congregation to rise. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא וחפשו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו לכך ברירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, צור הבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, ביעדו אפקיד רוחי, בעת אישן ואירה, ועם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. Shabbat Shalom.